And what they were doing is they were tearing down motorcycles and selling the parts on eBay. His wife flipped out when he brought this thing home, made him take it back.
Let's go.
All right, so I get asked fairly frequently what the deal with this guy is. A lot of people ask, they're like, what is it? And it is kind of hard to tell what it is because full race body and you can't see the headlight. You can't see where the headlight was supposed to be, and it is kind of confusing to the trained eye. You know, there's some signs that you can see. You know it's not a Kawasaki, and I'll be ruining my video.
Oh, sorry.
All right. This is a 2006, 2007 GSXR 600. It might have some 750 parts on it. 2006 and 2007 was the exact same bike. Everything was interchangeable, including the 750 parts. The frame, the engine, you could just swap them out. Very, very minor differences. You know, bore and stroke, different tachometer. Maybe the ECU was different. Tires and everything were just exactly the same. So the story behind this bike, let me just show it to you for a little, real quick. If you're wondering whose signature that was, that's my signature. And that's shortly after I got it. Got a GPR steering dampener on it. Battery's been dead for a year. It's actually the longest vehicle I've ever owned in my entire life. I've had it almost 9 years. I've had this almost as long as I've been married, which is incredible. I mean, a few months is a long time for me to own a vehicle. This thing's been a long time. Now, how I obtained this was when I was there's little hints and little tricks all over this bike. VelocityKing.com. To be honest with you, I should take that sticker off, but I'm lazy. I was working for a company called Velocity King. They actually approached me when I was in college, and what they were doing is they were tearing down motorcycles and selling the parts on eBay. And at the time, bunch of people, we were all like-minded. We all want to ride bikes. We all want to do track days, and we decided that the 2006, 2007 GSXR 600 platform or 750 platform would be one of the best bikes to do track days on. And the reason to be one of the best bikes is because they were so easy to get parts for it. I actually have a spare motor that I bought in 2011 that I bought for $300 and apparently has no miles on it. Who knows whether that's true or not. Sitting at my house waiting for me to blow this one up and then to stick in the spare one. So what happened was I found this bike. This bike started out as a wrecked bike, and it was a red bike. You don't see too many red GSXR 600s. It was a red one, and it was wrecked. Bent wheel, rear sets were bent, body was scratched up, and I bought it for $1,900, had 10,000 miles, and had a clean title. So I took that, started swapping out parts, taking the bad parts off, putting good parts on, and I took the whole bike apart, pulled the frame out of it, sold the frame on eBay with the frame was clean, sold the frame on eBay with a clean title, and then purchased I sold it for $1,800. I sold it for the exact same amount of money that I bought the whole bike for. And then I bought a salvage title frame for $300, stuck it in there. Now, when I was selling other parts, like there was, the headlight was worth $300, and all the nice things that people spend good money for, I sold that. I traded this race body off of a bike that my buddy bought, and he didn't want a race body, but I did. So I pretty much put this thing together for free, and then just traded other parts for everything else. I mean, this GPR steering dampener was about $500. Traded something for it. Actually, I think I bought a bike that had one of these on that I was flipping, and then I took that off and yanked it on my bike. Pretty much any time I could find, I flipped one of these bikes that had something that I wanted on it, I would just take it off, put the stock one back on the other bike, put the race one on my bike. Actually, about a year ago, we traded in one of these exact same things, and it had a quick shift mechanism on it, and I was so pumped. I even paid extras so I can take that quick shift off that bike and put it on this bike. But then the guy, his wife, he bought a Victory from us. His wife flipped out when he brought this thing home, made him take it back, and I had to give the bike back. I was kind of bummed out about it. So a lot of people ask me about the scratches and the rash on the bike. None of that's actually from me. I've actually never had this bike down, although it is a track bike and it was made to put down. Every metal piece on this thing, every piece has probably a good scratch on it. The swing arm's got a big gash on the other side, so I could trade in You know, you find some guy that has a nice bike, but he's got a gash on the swing arm. You got a clean swing arm. You trade it. He gives you a couple $100. Bam, you have a swing arm with a scratch on it. Weighs a little bit less. Not that that's important. Weighs a little bit less and is worth less because you don't care about your track bike. You're gonna wreck it anyway. He wants his bike to be clean because that's what the type of bike he has. So you might remember, if you guys saw the last video of me and my buddy Jared going on a trip, I was actually flashing pictures from our last trip that we took maybe like 6-7 years ago. And I was riding this exact bike. At the time, this thing had the clean title. So this thing was titled and it actually had a stock tail setup on it. And what I did, there might still be Velcro down here. What I did was I just put Velcro lights, spotlights down here so I had headlights. Had no turn signals. I kept it down in the south. It was horrible to see at night. I really couldn't see anything. All I was really focusing on was where the car in front of me was. I've had this bike for a long time. I've had it on multiple tracks. I've had it in Little Talladega. I've had it on New Jersey Motorsports Park. That was the most recent one. Had it to Barber. I've had it to Carolina Motorsports Park. Great track bike. It's still a good track bike. And the reason I'm keeping it around, and the reason it's not for sale, is because I barely have any money into it. If I want to do a track day, I just throw some new tires on it. I can still keep up with the other people. Every year I come into the year and I'm like, I'm gonna do a couple track days. It hasn't happened yet, but it will happen eventually. Let me just show you some unique things. So everything's safety wired on the bike. And if you ever wonder what safety wire is, it's just holding bolts down that if they start to back out because you've had them off. Race cars, race bikes will have this. You know, there's no way that bolt can ever back out, which is the brake bolt. That's also going to be put on, you know, stuff like axle bolts and other important parts. Also like the oil drain bolts, that's going to be safety wire so that doesn't, you know, start to roll out and then get oil all over the track and all over your tire. If you ever wonder why you might see a zip tie on someone's forks, when someone's doing super heavy braking, the forks will push down the zip tie. They're not going to fall down because they're super tight. It's going to push down the zip tie, and you can see how much travel you still have left. You don't want to find out that you've been full braking on the bike and you've been compressing your suspension the entire way. If that's the case, you need to stiff up your suspension even more. You know, that's why you know, there'll be zip ties on the forks. So that's pretty much the scoop with the track bike. If I were to do any more modification, for me to get it back on the track, change all the fluids, put new tires on, just kind of give everything a once over, I probably should drain the fuel out. No, I probably have non-ethanol fuel in there. I would like a quick shift. If I can get a quick shift, that would be nice. And that's probably the only modification. Other than that, something that I realized when it comes to doing track days, it's very little about the bike. It's more about the rider. So if I can't accomplish what I'm trying to accomplish with that bike, I just need to become a better rider. I just need to get better. You know, when I'm on the track, I can keep up with, in my category, I'm in the middle category, I can keep up with, I'm one of the faster guys in that category. But then every once in a while, there'll be some guy that dropped down from the expert, and he'll drop down, but he'll be riding like a 390 KTM, which is a very small bike, and it's significantly slower than my bike, and he'll pull away from me, and I realize, you know what, I don't need a faster bike, I just need to get better at riding. Right now, I got young kids. I know a lot of you guys are in the same situation. I got young kids. I don't look at track days as being a dangerous thing. I just look at track days as being a very time-consuming thing, and right now, I don't have that much time. So one of these days, I'll get back into it. I'll jump back in with this bike, or maybe I'll get another one and I'll let my friends ride this one. But this has been a great bike for me. All right, guys, so that's the story of the track bike that sits in my shop, sits in my office most of the time. Comment below if you have any, if you've ever done track days, how you feel about track days, if you've done any track stories, or if you also have a bike that just sits around doing nothing. That, you know, it's kind of waiting for your hopes and dreams to come back up and you to get it done. Check out this video right here of when I stole, no, I didn't steal bikes. I almost bought 2 stolen bikes. Actually, the one I actually did buy. Check this story out, see what happened. It's pretty interesting. We'll see you guys later. We got a lot of work to do.